If you've been following along with the build on the six-wheel, the tandem 66 C10 truck, you'll remember I had some issues with steering travel. The front wheels didn't turn nearly as far as they needed to. So we're fixing that today. If you look back in the old videos, you'll remember that I had a Camaro steering rack out of a late 90s, I think it was, Camaro. And the problem with this rack, it did fine. You know, the rack and pinion is much tighter steering than the old steering box type of a setup. So the feel of the steering was great, but just didn't have enough travel. It only had a little over 4 inches of travel side to side. I needed more like 7 inches to match the original C10 steering geometry. So what I'm doing today, I'm installing a Silverado steering rack to replace the old Camaro rack. This Silverado is out of an early 2000 half-ton two-wheel drive Chevy truck. I want to say it's from 99 till 06. Don't quote me on that, but it's kind of in that time frame. This rack does have 7 inches of travel. Now, I had some issues on trying to get this rack mounted in a C10 truck. The Camaro rack, all the tubing on the rack itself is on the front, so it's out of the way, so it's relatively easy to mount. I really didn't have too much issue trying to mount that rack. The Silverado rack, however, you can see on the back side of the rack here, the tubing is on the back side of the rack instead of on the front. So this tubing is in the way. It doesn't allow you to get back into the crossmember as far as you need to. There are kits on the market that use a modified version of this Silverado rack, and it's a bolt-in kit for a C10. And from what I read about them, they work really well. It gives you really nice steering. It gives you the amount of travel that you need. But they take this rack and modify it by rotating this section of the rack. They kind of roll it over and bend new tubes in order to get rid of that interference issue. Then they give you a nice mounting bracket and stuff, you know, to make it a bolt-in setup. The problem with those kits is they're like $1,000, $1,200 for that kit. I don't want to put that kind of money into steering on this truck if I can do it cheaper. This is kind of a budget build, believe it or not. I don't like to spend money that I don't have to. If I could find a way to do it myself rather than buying an aftermarket kit, I would prefer to do that. So I found this rack. It's a remanufactured rack. I found it on Rock Auto. They had it was a closeout where they only have one rack left. I gave $123 for this rack. It's a reman unit, ready to go. In order to deal with the interference issue on the back side of the rack, I figured, well, shoot, if the crossmember's in the way, I'll just make a recess in the crossmember to make clearance for these tubes. That's not a problem. Cut and weld, put pocket back in the crossmember. That's not a big deal for me. So that's the plan. Another issue I ran into with this rack is the mounting bushing on the passenger side. It was over here and it interfered with the inner bushing on the lower control arm. So I cut that mount off and I relocated it over to this side so it's symmetrical with the driver's side bushing. This mark here is the center of the rack, so I want them symmetrical so that they look right in that cross member and they fit between the lower control arms better. The aftermarket rack uses a really fancy clamp-on mount for this side, so I made my own. I took a piece of tubing and cut it in half and put some flanges on it to make a clamshell that would clamp around the rack body, and then I welded that original mount that I cut off of this side to that clamp. So I moved my mounting points in so they're symmetrical now, and it should solve my problem. All right, you'll never believe what I did. I went ahead and did the swap with the different rack. Took out the Camaro, and well, you saw I had the Camaro out. I've already got the Silverado rack in. It's done. I didn't tape any of it. I just thought I'd show you what I did, the short version, rather than make you watch how I did it along the way. The new Silverado rack, it looks a whole lot better than what the old Camaro did. You can see I had to C-notch the front of the frame for clearance. That's because of the way that I lowered this truck. The top of the crossmember typically bolts to the bottom of the frame rail. The way I lowered this truck, I took 1.5 inches out of the bottom of the frame rail, and then I boxed it so it's fully boxed, and then I cut a slot down into the crossmember so the frame rail slid into the crossmember. So now the top of the crossmember is even with the top of the frame, and that gave me 5 inches of drop. Factory control arms, factory spindles, and just bolt-in airbag brackets down there that you can't see.
So that's the reason I had to do C-notches in the front. Because of the way I lowered this truck, now my front frame rails were right in the way of steering. So I had to create some clearance. So part of my project here in the past few weeks has been to C-notch the front to make clearance for the new rack. And while I was at it, apparently I never did clean up these control arms and the spindles. So I did that while I was at it when I put new poly bushings in the control arms, top and bottom. It should make the air suspension work a whole lot better. In my opinion, the poly bushings work a lot more like a bearing compared to the factory rubber bushings that are vulcanized to both the inner and outer sleeves. So the factory style rubber bushings actually have a little bit of a spring rate to them. In my opinion, the poly bushings act more like a bushing, or act more like a bearing. So it should allow the air suspension to work more smoothly and not bind up in the bushings. Anyway, back to the steering. Silverado rack, it mounted in there pretty well. My new hoses to clean up the lines a little bit. I got AN fittings on both ends. I'm not sure how well you can see with my lighting there. Down in there, you can see the pocket for the clearance for the back of the rack. I just cut a pocket back into the cross member and boxed it all back in for clearance. And you can see a little bit about how I mounted it down in there. Let's get the truck up in the air so you can see a little bit more of the detail. Before we jack it up, let me finish up here. Talk a little bit more about the steering. I did have to add one more U-joint in my steering shaft. Again, because of the way I lowered this truck. The steering shaft would no longer clear this upper assembly, so I'd kind of put in a support bearing and another joint in order to get down to the rack. And it worked just fine. The Silverado rack, I thought it would use a standard 3/4 double D type of a shaft. It doesn't. It's a slightly different size. Fortunately, the steering shaft that I had in here with the Camaro rack, the bottom end that fit the Camaro rack fits the Silverado rack as well. It is a double D, but it's a slightly different size. And then the top side, the inside of this aftermarket shaft is a 3/4 double D, but the OD of it is much larger. And again, I got lucky. This upper joint from the setup I had before, I don't remember if the upper portion of this was from an Astro van or from the Camaro. Either way, it's a factory joint and it fit perfectly on that aftermarket steering column. So the only thing I had to do is cut the shafts and add this $30 joint and a support bearing. So that's how I got from the steering column out here to the rack. And then tie rods. I ended up going with 3/4 inch Heims with high misalignment bushings, and we'll be able to see that better from underneath. So I drilled out the steering knuckle for a 5/8 bolt, and then with the high misalignment bushings in that 3/4 inch Heim joint, it makes all that work out. I made this tie rod adapter. The Silverado inner tie rod has a 14mm thread on it, and so I made this adapter with a 14mm in one side and 3/4 inch on the other side, so I could screw the inner to the outer and still have some adjustment. You can see how I've mounted the rack. As I talked in the last video, I had to move this passenger side bushing in. I made this clamshell that clamped around the valve body, the tie rod body, and moved it in away from this lower control arm. For the mounts, I cut these discs out of a 1/4 inch plate, just used a hole saw, so it made a really nice heavy duty washer for mounting. I did the same thing on the back side. It's difficult to see here, but basically I've got one of these heavy duty washers welded to a piece of 1.5 inch tubing. I hole sawed into the cross member to slide that tubing back inside the cross member. So there's a washer with a nut welder on the back side of it for this bolt to screw into, and then that tubing slides back in the cross member. And that allowed me to, move the rack in and out and get it positioned just right before I welded it in place. You can see the pocket here for clearance for those tubes. The only other thing I really did, other than the C-notch in the frame rail, the top of these lower control arms. I took nearly 1 inch out of the top of these control arms. The stamped steel came up a pretty good distance above these bushings. So I just trimmed that off and replated it as close to the bushing as I can to get as much clearance from the rack to the top of the control arm as possible. And that worked out real well. Gave me some extra clearance there. Now to answer the big question, did it solve my steering problem? Yes, it did. I can turn this truck around in cul-de-sac now without making a 3-point turn. It turns really well now. It works really well. It solved my problem. So now putting it into a parking space probably won't be that big a deal. Much more maneuverable. For a truck this long, maneuverability is important. So getting back to 7 inches of steering travel was important. Okay, so what did it cost? As I said before, there are kits on the market in the neighborhood of $1,000, $1,200. About $1,000 I think is the cheapest kit I've seen. All in, I'm right around $450. I bought the rack. It's $125. By the time you pay tax and shipping, there's $175 in the rack, which is a deal. I mean, you're unlikely to find a rack for that price. The hose kit, which I splurged a little bit on, was about $165. The Heim joint kit with misalignment spacers and everything that you need to make that setup work was around $80 or $85 off of Amazon. Then just some miscellaneous, $20 in bolts, some 1/4-inch plate. I had some tubing, that I used. Stuff like that. All in, I'm in the neighborhood of $450. Not as cheap as I would have liked. $150, $200 would have been better. A Thunderbird rack kit that comes with the hoses is somewhere right around $330. So because I got the Silverado rack cheaper, I probably came out about the same as I would have with a Thunderbird rack with more steering angle. I got 7 inches of travel. All in all, I think it was a good decision. It solved my problems with this truck, and yeah, on to the next.